Welcome to the third episode of the Success Sit Down, Chaminade's Career Podcast. I'm your host, Tracy, and today I'm blessed to announce we have Mr. Ben Barnes, partner in charge of RubinBrown's Consulting Services Group. Mr. Barnes, thanks for coming on the show.
Zach, pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So as we get into today, I want to talk about your professional life, your upbringing, values, and on that, when you were growing up, what values or lessons were instilled in you or emphasized that really led to the man you are today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to start with your parents. Mm-hmm. Came from a small family. I just have another brother, but my dad was in the business community here in St. Louis most of his career. He was a commercial banker and very well respected. And when I eventually came back to St. Louis to work for RubinBrown, I met a lot of his contacts, and just the way they spoke about the way my father treated them throughout his business career really resonated to me. And it's reflective of how I was brought up as a young boy growing up in Webster Groves.
Sure.
Just about honesty and treating people respectfully, regardless of where they come from, and
integrity.
Absolutely, and doing what you said you're going to do.
Sure.
I would say it's kind of traditional old school values, but at the end of the day, being nice to people, and that goes a long way, and everything you do for somebody else comes back around in some form or fashion.
And your father, is he who led you to have interest in the business world?
Oh, absolutely. Like I mentioned, he was a commercial banker.
Sure.
But I would also add my Aunt Brenda. So It was his sister-in-law. Brenda was really impactful in my life. And Brenda was CEO of Pepsi North America. She was CEO of Sara Lee. I was in her wedding as a young guy. But nice. Brenda, watching her career and her build her career was really impactful to me. She's godmother to one of our child, and Brenda passed away from a stroke at too young of an age, but really impactful. And when I heard the stories of how she treated people around Pepsi, it was just like true humanity. Like there was no ego about any of the people that I learned from on how to be a great business person. Mm-hmm. So between kind of my father, my Aunt Brenda, great role models on how to treat people in business, and gave me a passion for the business world.
A passion, and they sound exemplary. And you received your bachelor's in business administration and your master's in accounting at Trinity University, correct?
Yes, correct.
And you also have your CPA.
I do.
What specifically led you to accounting, and would you recommend getting a CPA?
Sure. Accounting always was told to me as the language of business, and I really think it is. I mean, I don't know that I necessarily set out to be an accountant to do the debits and credits as a job. I really wanted to be in business, and I really thought accounting is a great foundational set of knowledge and principles to allow me to do anything I wanted to do in business and kind of wherever that would take me. And I have really found that to be 100% true. So would I recommend somebody to be an accountant? Absolutely. I think getting a CPA, it's one of the most transferable and recognizable professional certifications out there. It indicates a certain level of commitment to passing the CPA exam, a certain level of intellect and hard work that it kind of sets you up to do anything you want to do. And I think accountants maybe get a bad rap for being a little bit introverted and green eye shade and working on the calculator and all that stuff. And I think you can do that type of CPA job if that's what you want. And God love them, there's a lot of people that want to do that. But if you're more outgoing and you want to do something else, accounting is a fabulous foundation for leveraging that skill set to go do anything in the business world.
Now, AI, on that note, has changed a lot of facets of the business world.
Sure.
But accounting, how has AI affected accounting, and what are some of the positives and negatives?
Yeah, I think it's still a little early days on the how to assess AI and the impact of accounting. I think the potential is there for it to be pretty impactful in terms of kind of taking away some of the detail work, or maybe kind of the entry-level work in the accounting profession. But I think it's going to, for the most part, allow people to leverage up their skills. So I think what what young people need to do as you're getting into accounting is you need to make sure that you're very comfortable utilizing AI to help you be better at what you're already doing. I think that AI is not necessarily taking jobs, but if you don't know how to use AI, those are the jobs that AI will take. And there's some very powerful models that are coming out, and it changes so fast. We try to keep up with that. I chair our AI committee at the firm. Really? So I try to stay up on this. I've got a bunch of AI experts around me. Believe me, I am not one. But the models that are coming out from the different LLMs are very powerful. And I think it's going to be transformational. But I think, colleges are going to adapt, education's going to adapt, and it's going to allow you to do more things as a young CPA in the business that maybe would have taken a lot longer.
Well, it sounds like a tool that betters the employee rather than replacing it.
And I think that's the mentality that you need to go with AI. This is an incredibly powerful tool that's going to allow you to amplify what you're already good at. But it's not going to take the place of personal relationships, one-on-one interaction, sitting across the table from a client and explaining to them the ramifications of a financial transaction or an M&A deal or something like that. AI cannot do that stuff. AI can allow you to get information faster and quicker and pull it together for that type of presentation. It can even give you insights into maybe how you approach a presentation depending on who your audience is. So kind of like a stylistic guidance on how you might want to approach somebody, but it can't do that job.
Gotcha. So, in touching on that, you mentioned like the human side of business and soft skills. What would you say for young professionals entering the business world? What are some of the key like soft skills that they need to really foster within themselves to set themselves up for success?
Sure. I think I think leadership is absolutely critical. I think things to do in college that set you up to be really successful are take leadership roles in organizations. Don't just sign up for 15 organizations. Maybe go deep in a couple organizations where you can take leadership opportunities. Be entrepreneurial. Create something new. Those are the types of skills that are hard to find and are not going to be replaced by AI. And I think you have an opportunity as you're thinking about going into college and majoring in accounting or rushing a fraternity or anything like that. Take the leadership responsibilities in that. I think I've learned a lot in my career by putting my hand up for challenging opportunities or something that somebody else didn't want to do. Put your hand up for those things and figure out a path, and then you'll definitely find a way to be successful in the business world.
Take initiative, invest yourself in things, all that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And as previously mentioned, you work for RubinBrown. So walk the listeners through the early stages of your career that led to where you are today.
Sure. So I worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers for 10 years, started in the audit practice, and at some point I decided audit wasn't for me, and I moved over to the M&A practice for PwC. We relocated at the time to Chicago.
Gotcha.
So was working on M&A deals during the financial collapse of 2009, 8, 9, and that was a fascinating time because we were doing financial services deals for PwC, so we were in a lot of the stuff going on. So very interesting, learned a ton, wouldn't trade that experience for anything. But at some point we wanted to get back to St. Louis, and I wanted to get back to the middle market, working with middle market businesses. So I joined RubinBrown at the time. I actually joined as a manager in the audit department, so I went back to my audit roots, spent a little bit of time in the audit practice, and then the firm started getting more opportunities to do M&A work. And so I kind of found myself getting pulled into that area of the firm. Ultimately, I really transitioned entirely out of the audit practice into the M&A practice. And at the time, the firm was really talking about private equity and what are we doing with private equity firms.
Sure.
So me, along with a couple of my other partners, we started our private equity services practice, which is a national practice for RubinBrown, so working with private equity sponsors all over the country. So I led that practice for a number of years. During that time, we had a vacancy in our managing partner role in our Denver office, so I put my hand up for that opportunity and was the managing partner for Denver for about 3 years.
Okay.
That was a great experience. After that, had an opportunity to help start our investment bank for RubinBrown, so RubinBrown Corporate Finance.
Sure.
So had to take a few security license exams and pass a few tests, which I haven't tried to take a test in a long time, so that was not a lot of fun. But we got it done, and we got a nice investment bank now. And took over the consulting practice about 2 years ago after the prior individual leading that practice retired.
Gotcha. Well, as head of consulting, what does your job look like now?
Sure. So the consulting practice for RubinBrown, we've got about a little over 200 employees across the firm, really across the country. We kind of do everything that's not audit and tax. So we've got various practice leaders that report to me. So we do everything from mergers and acquisitions to ERP implementations to strategy consulting to AI and strategy consulting, AI data strategy consulting, risk services, SOC work, Sarbanes-Oxley work. So all of that stuff reports up to me. So I spend a lot of time on a daily basis working with the team, helping solve problems. I think I would say is my number one daily thing. Is people call me with issues or proposals or challenging client situations, and I help them work through those problems.
Now, as working through many facets of the business world, it sounds like, what has been a key lesson that, looking back now, you wish your younger self knew entering?
Look, I think hard work, work is not a bad four-letter word. And I learned a lot from grinding through kind of early days at PwC, working long hours, going the extra mile to doing those things. And that investment, especially in, call it the first 10 to 15 years of your career, that will set you up for a lifetime of success. And what I see frequently is a lot of young people want to kind of skip those tough first years. You got to learn how the sausage is made before you can kind of manage the sausage making process. And those can be tough years.
Yeah.
But you can clearly see a differentiation between the young people that take initiative and put their hand up for challenging assignments and are there early, stay late. I mean, those are the individuals that make a difference in the business career. And I was fortunate that I was kind of instilled those work ethics by my dad. He kind of told me that stuff out of the gate, but not everybody's told that. And that does really pay off in the long run.
Yeah, and on values instilled within you, I understand that you are a practicing Catholic. How does your faith help you navigate the business world?
Yeah, look, my faith grounds me in all things that really matter. I mean, we get all worked up in the business world about a variety of things. And the faith helps set your foundation for knowing what is truly important. Let's be honest. I mean, CPAs, we're not saving lives. And the Catholic foundation really helps you see the world correctly. Look, I've been very fortunate to be at an organization like RubinBrown that really mirrors my values, and that's one of the reasons I joined RubinBrown. We have a tagline that says "Be your best for others," and that simple philosophy I think lines really well with a faith-based life, whether it's Catholicism or anything else. Our objective is servant leadership.
Servant leadership.
Serving our team, serving our clients. Every day you show up as your best self to serve others. And that could mean a variety of things, from you maybe want to go to daily mass because that puts you in the right frame of mind, or you maybe want to get up and exercise because it gives you the right frame of mind to enter that office and really give it your all for your team. Okay. And I think ultimately, you got to find an organization that has a soul that kind of matches your own. And I've been fortunate to find that with RubinBrown.
That's awesome. And your son, Alex, he goes to Chaminade. He's a senior and know him pretty well. How does Chaminade prepare young men for careers and finding that business that matches their personality, their values? What value does Chaminade emphasize in fostering that you think is really, really important?
Look, I think Chaminade has done a phenomenal job of taking care of the individual boy becoming a man and meeting them where they're at. And, I've just watched Alex totally grow as a man throughout his Chaminade career. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I've been most impressed with this school is how the faculty members truly know my son. And I'm sure they know you as well, and they know everybody here, but they take a real vested interest in getting to know this individual and where are their strengths. And they give them the opportunity to get involved in so many different areas. Right. And they support the full formation of this young man. Last night we were at the father-son dinner and listened to John O'Leary speak. And it was a powerful talk, as John always is. Yep. But that's a great example of the type of resources that Chaminade is bringing to these young men who are really trying to figure out the type of man they want to be in today's society. Mm-hmm. And how to be, not only a man of God, but an upstanding man that takes care of their families and communities. And it was just phenomenal that Chaminade is just all in on kind of forming good men.
Yeah, forming good men, thriving as good men.
Right.
Awesome. Well, this has been incredibly enriching. I know that I gained a heavy amount of valuable insight, and I hope our listeners did as well. I just want to thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. Thank you.